Imagine you have a little garden. You walk out outside one morning and decide, I want the most beautiful garden in the world. So you grab a packet of seeds, dig a little hole, put them in the ground, cover them with soil, and wait. The next morning you run outside. Nothing. You look at the soil, still nothing. You come back the next day, nothing. After a week, you might start thinking, maybe these seeds don't work. But underneath the ground, something is happening. You just can't see it yet. That is how chasing a goal is like. Sometimes you are doing everything you can, but nothing seems to be happening. That doesn't always mean you're failing. Sometimes it means your roots are growing. And that is the first thing I want you to remember. You do not have to see progress for progress to be happening. Every big dream starts as something very small. Maybe you want to become a writer. Maybe you want to learn how to play an instrument. Maybe you want to become a doctor, an artist, an athlete, a teacher, an investor, or start your own business. Maybe your dream is something nobody else understands yet. That's okay. You don't need everyone to understand your dream. You just need to understand what it matters to you. But here is the part nobody likes to hear. Wanting something, it's not enough. Dreams are wonderful. They can give you a direction. They can make your heart feel excited. But a dream without action, it's a little bit like having a treasure map and never leaving the house. You have to take the first step. And the first step does not have to be huge. Actually, it's usually better if it isn't. If you want to write a book, you don't have to write the whole book tomorrow. Write one page. If you want to get stronger, you don't have to become incredibly stronger this week. Start moving your body. If you want to learn something new, you don't have to understand everything today. Learn one small thing, one page, one lesson. That is how people climb mountains, not by jumping to the top, one step at a time. And sometimes the steps will feel so small that you'll wonder if they really matter. They do. Imagine standing at the bottom of a staircase with 100 steps. If you stare at the top the whole time, you might feel overwhelmed. But if you look at the step directly in front of you, it feels possible. That is how you should treat a big goal. Don't ask yourself, how am I ever going to get there? Ask, what can I do today? That question is much more powerful because today is something you can actually touch. Tomorrow is still a mystery. Next year is a mystery, but today is sitting right in front of you. Use it, and then comes another important part. You have to be willing to be bad at something before you become good at it. Nobody starts as an expert. Think about a little child learning to walk. They stand up, they wobble, they fail, they get back up, they fall again. They don't look at the other children walking around and say, well, I'm clearly terrible at this. I should probably quit. They just keep trying. Somewhere along the way, we grow up and become afraid of looking foolish. Your first attempt at something might make you want to hide under your blanket forever. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It means you're learning. Being bad at something is not the opposite of being good at it. It is usually the road that takes you there. So give yourself permission to be a beginner. And don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. You might look at someone and think they're incredibly talented. What you don't see are the years they spent practicing when nobody cared. Because sometimes people talk about achieving goals. You wake up every morning feeling like a magical superhero. Motivation is wonderful, but motivation is not reliable. You don't need to feel inspired every day. You just need to keep your promise to yourself often enough. And when you miss a day, start again. There is no medical rule saying that one mistake means the story is over. It isn't. You are allowed to begin again as many times as you need. Sometimes the path to your goal will look nothing like you imagined. You might have to change direction. You might discover that the dream you had when you were younger isn't actually the dream you want anymore. Changing your mind is not always giving up. Sometimes it's growing up. Sometimes you walk toward a door because you think it is the right one, only to discover another door that feels much more like you. You are allowed to open it. Just remember the difference between quitting because something is difficult and changing direction because you have discovered something new about yourself. And if you want to keep working through these little lessons with me, subscribe. You will need a reminder that your dream is still worth chasing.